Calaroga Shark Media.
Conan O'Brien, who's 61 years old somehow, we're all getting old, he's going to host the Oscars March 2nd. Academy CEO Bill Kramer and President Janet Yang said in a statement together as if they are the Borg, "We are thrilled and honored to have the incomparable Conan O'Brien host the Oscars this year. He is the perfect person to help lead our global celebration of film with his brilliant humor, his love of movies, and his live TV expertise. His remarkable ability to connect with audiences will bring viewers together to do what the Oscars do best, honor the spectacular films and filmmakers of this year." What I'm worried about is I keep thinking back to Letterman hosting the Oscars, and the Oscar crowd, they kind of like you to go down the middle. They like Billy Crystal. I'm not sure they like, Triumph the Insult Comic Dog. Not that I expect Triumph at the Oscars, but you never know. I mean, I'd love the heck out of that. But is Conan too weird for the Oscars crowd? We will find out. Conan O'Brien said, "America demanded it, and now it's happening. Taco Bell's new cheesy chalupa supreme." And other news, I'm hosting the Oscars. Jimmy Kimmel reportedly declined an invitation to come back this year. John Mulaney is said to have also passed on the opportunity. None of that is a dig at Conan. Weird statements. Raj Kapoor and Katie Mullen, who produced the 96th Oscars, they'll return for these 97th Oscars, and they also put out a joint statement. What's with the joint statements? Like the Borg, they said Conan has all the qualities of a great Oscars host. He is incredibly witty, charismatic, and funny, and has proven himself to be a master of live event television. We so look forward to working with him to deliver a fresh, exciting, and celebratory show for Hollywood's biggest night. Some big names got together the other night to honor Gilbert Gottfried's life and to raise funds for muscular dystrophy research. Among the attendees, Dave Attell, Susie Essman, Judy Gold, Richard Kind, Robert Smigel, Paul Schaefer, Chevy Chase, Jeff Ross, and Sal Vulcano. A lot of John Mulaney in the news lately. He told GQ, "Doing the late night show really made me enjoy LA. Something clicked where I was like, oh, this feels like the future. There's so much going on. Aerospace, shipping, agriculture, industry. This Hollywood thing is pretty tiny." When he brings back whatever he winds up doing for the new incarnation of the late night show, he says, "There's a quote I heard about Edward Hopper, that he was a great artist, but he was only a good painter. But if he had been a better painter, he would have been a worse artist. I sort of feel like if we try to make the show better, it could be worse. You go on instinct over data and recklessness over planning." I love it. Letterman gave John Mulaney some advice, which is, when you're running the weird show, you have to be the least weird person on it. Everybody's going to be saying, let's do this and let's do that, and you're the one having to modulate the gas and brakes. James Acaster will have an HBO special. It is called Heckler's Welcome. In Heckler's Welcome, James Acaster relinquishes control of his set and lets the audience interfere. Acaster said, "Performing in the Round, a theater I went to growing up, with the audience chipping in whenever they felt like, meant this was the most I've ever enjoyed filming a special. I'm delighted it's coming to HBO. Also, I've jumped on the stage via trampoline, and I don't want that to go unacknowledged. There is a trailer. Let's listen."
Before we begin, here are the house rules. James Acaster cannot get annoyed at the audience if they heckle, talk amongst themselves, go on their phones, or are quieter than he would like. Richard, what is wrong with you, mate? James Acaster may not single anybody out who was not heckled. The most cringe moment of my entire life, and I was the only person there for. Even though he spent his entire career trying to meticulously control every single detail in every single show he's ever done, James Acaster has to accept whatever happens. Look, if you haven't enjoyed the show tonight, please take some consolation in the fact it used to be a lot worse.
James Acaster, Heckler's Welcome, November 23rd. That's like this week. That's Saturday, 10 p.m. Trump got reelected, and people are asking Kathy Griffin about it again. You may recall she posed for photos holding a mask of the president smeared in ketchup. That did not go over well. Kathy said, "I stand by the photo and never should have apologized. The only thing I'm taking back is the apology. Trump used the entire DOJ to come after me. It was like, good old Kathy Griffin. You know her from telling penis jokes and from making fun of the Kardashians, but now she's the DOJ's #1 enemy." Kathy said it wasn't until last year, and that incident was 6 years ago, that last year she finally started getting invited back to places that wouldn't have her. One of those, the Mirage in 2017, put out a statement that said Griffin's photo clearly crosses the line of respect and decency. Kathy tells a story and says, "I got a woman who worked with the guy at the Mirage who banned me for life," and she goes, "That guy's dead." I was like, that's why I'm being asked back? So I just decided I'm going to wait them all out and assume that I'm back at most of these venues because whoever banned me is dead now. Wanda Sykes talked about the election with Jimmy Kimmel and said, I mean, it's so many reasons why you can say it happened. But you know, a lot of us aren't like totally shocked because sometimes America is just gonna America. Send your letters to Wanda Sykes. She jokes, I blame all those damn Cheerio commercials showing all those interracial couples. You scared the crap out of white people. What are y'all doing? Just sell the damn cereal. Why you gotta be bringing us into this? You may find it interesting and relevant to the joke that Wanda isn't in interracial marriage. Wanda continued. So why are the majority of white women not voting for another woman? And I'm like, y'all need to watch more Bravo. Why are you shocked? Have you seen The Bachelor? Women tear each other apart over dude. So why do you think this wasn't going to happen? The Real Housewives, I mean, they do the same thing. Wanda was upset about one part of Trump's campaign, quoting Wanda, you're supposed to be trying to fix the problems of America, right? So you target a community that's less than 1% of the population? You're focusing on that, on sex changes? How about focus on climate change that affects everybody instead of sex changes? That's like less than 1% of the population, and it's all fears. Oh, you know, your son goes to school as a boy and comes home as a girl, and I'm like, relax, it's a man bun, shut up. Stormy Daniels did a comedy set. The State Journal-Register was there. Daniels apparently said, people ask why you're still a Republican, why haven't you changed? Stormy said, because it makes Republicans so mad and I'm that kind of petty. Stormy asked, how are these our only options for president? It's the hypocrisy of the whole thing. Some comedians are upset that she's doing stand-up. Stormy says, we all know I do my best work laying down. It's way more fun. Dick Van Dyke weighed in. Dick Van Dyke is 98 years old. A paparazzo yelled out to a 98-year-old man, hey, does the future look bright for America? 98-year-old Dick Van Dyke didn't hear the question at first, but the paparazzo repeated it. Dick said, I hope you're right. The photographer followed up. Do you think Donald Trump is capable of making America great again? Dick Van Dyke said, fortunately, I won't be around to experience the 4 years. Send your letters to Dick Van Dyke. It is the last day of the New York Comedy Festival. Let's see if their website wants to load today. It somewhat did. Not too bad. Not too much going on. 5:15 at the New York Comedy Club Upper West Side. Leonard Utz, he's doing a live special taping. He's a lot of fun. You should check that out. Zorna Garg is your big name tonight. Her show Practical People Win at Town Hall at 7. And that'll put a wrap on the New York Comedy Festival. I can delete this bookmark and move on. Lloyd Griffith is a comedian. He wrote about his hair transplant for The Guardian. Lloyd writes, 25 years later, I'm sitting in hair and makeup on the set of Soccer AM while the makeup artist covered up the bags under my eyes. I got home at 2 a.m. after doing a comedy gig and then got up again at 6. After touching up my face, she reached for a pot and started sprinkling black powder generously on my hair and said, it's for the cameras so the lights don't bounce off your bald patches. I felt as if I'd been heckled but had no comeback. My stomach dropped. It was the first time I'd been described as bald. I was aware my hair had been thinning for the past 3 or 4 years, but I thought I'd be getting away with it. I'd comb my hair left to right to conceal my scalp and then use the hair island at the front of my head to try and camouflage the aforementioned comb over. This is my future. I see this coming. I'm at the point now. I look all right on a normal day, but boy, when I get out of the shower, yikes. In comedy, you spend years trying to hone your USP, and my character and voice had always included the fact that I had hair. I was fat, and I made jokes about that. I didn't want to be fat and bald. Lloyd explains there's a very regimented aftercare procedure, sleeping upright for 5 nights, spraying your hair every half hour with saline, making sure nothing goes anywhere near your head for 14 days, no sexual acts for 10 days, and the list goes on. I took about 100 photos of my head in the cab on the way back, and I didn't edit a single one. I'd been reborn. I'm now in my ugly duckling phase where the hair has started to shed and my head is patchy, a process we're told to trust, as over the next 6 months, I should start to see the results. And that's your comedy news for today. If you enjoy the program, tell a friend about it. They might like it too. If you would like the show without commercial interruption, hey, I get it. We've got solutions for you. One solution, if you're on Apple Podcasts, there's a banner there. I always forget what the banner says. It says uninterrupted listening, $4.99 a month. So think about it. You could support the show. You send $5 to the show, and you get the show commercial free. That's even better than buying me a coffee, if you think about it. You could try that out for 30 days free. If you're not on Apple Podcasts, there's a link in the show notes so you can get it on Spotify or the other platforms. No trial with that one. Long story. Talk to my business partner, Mark. I don't know. I don't understand. See you tomorrow.